Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for agreeing to participate today. My name is Christy Poe. I'm a board member of For Frankfort, which is focused on race relations. The purpose of our organization is to have open and honest conversations about race and race-related issues here in Frankfort and Franklin County. The purpose of our candidate forum is to give you a chance to introduce yourself and also give you a chance to answer some questions from our group and from the community regarding race and race-related issues, and just your take on that. So there's no incorrect answers. Basically, we just want open and honest responses from you, and that's all we're looking for today. Uncomfortable conversations that we're trying to make comfortable so that we can try to find a solution. So I'd like to give each of you 1 minute to introduce yourselves, and then we'll get started with some questions. Tracy?
Hello, thank you guys very much for hosting this forum. My name is Tracy Hopper, and I'm running for jailer here in Franklin County. I have years of experience at the Franklin County Jail, years of experience in pretrial services. I am currently a paraeducator at the Franklin County Public Schools. And I would like for the community, the voting community, to know that my platform is based upon change, transparency, training, and I feel like now is the time more than any to bring a change to Franklin County. So by casting a vote for me, you'll be casting a vote for change. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Jake?
Thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Powell, for having this and letting us speak again. I'm Jake Banta. I'm 45 years old. I was born and raised in Frankfort. I'm a 1993 graduate of Frankfort High. Been married to my wife, Melissa, for 22 years, and we've raised our kids here in Frankfort. I started my career in 2001 at the Franklin County Regional Jail under James Kemper. I worked my way up from the bottom to the top. And in 2007, I had the opportunity to get hired by Steve Clark at the Franklin County Sheriff's Office and was sent to the Police Academy. I have 19 years of law enforcement and leadership training, and I'd like to continue that in Franklin County and work with the Franklin County to make it better each and every day. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much. All right, so I am going to move Jake into one of the breakout rooms so that we can get started. Let's see here, if I can figure out how to do that. There we go. All right. So Tracy, we'll get started with you with the first question, okay? And again, you'll have 2 minutes to answer the question. How do you define systemic racism, and do you believe that this exists in Frankfort?
In Frankfort, as anywhere in the United States, it does. We all need to improve our relationship, our relations with the community, and if we do this, then we'll only see improvement in Frankfort and Franklin County. I was very pleased that the turnout and at the march, at the protest, I don't even want to call it that. It was very peaceful. It was very nice. But those are the types of things, and communication is going to be the biggest part. The door is open now, and now is the time to communicate. And our leaders need to understand that not only in employment, but if you're going to rent a place to live, you know, we have to do better than what we've been doing, and it is, you know, a conversation that now that the door is open is the time to keep it open and keep going and move toward making changes.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to bring Jake back in, and then I'm going to move you into our breakout room, and I'll be right back with you, okay?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can. You are back. Hold on just a moment.
You want me to go back to the breakout room?
No, no,
I got a thing there.
yeah, I'm sending Tracy. There she goes. All right. Okay, so question number 1 for you. Well, Tracy is on here, so we're gonna get rid of the breakout rooms because it's not working. So she's already heard the question and answered. That won't affect her. So, Jake, the question: how do you define systemic racism? Do you believe this exists in Frankfort?
I'm sure there's racism in Frankfort. I don't think that we have the problem that other areas have, and we need to work on that in Frankfort. I think it's a new time in our era, in our county, in our state, in our country, and I think it's time for everybody to take a step back and listen and learn, and slow down a little bit. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you so much. So what we're going to do without the breakout room is I'm going to start the next question. Tracy, or actually Jake, you'll be first this time. Tracy, you'll be second, and so forth for the third question, okay? The second question today, starting with Jake. Are there issues of racial inequality at the jail? Please explain why or why not.
I don't believe so. I think since I can only speak for the 9 months I've been there. Since the 9 months I've been there, we've been really, really aggressive in hiring, and we've hired other ethnic backgrounds, and that's good. My goal is to mirror our community with our staff. That helps with the inmates. So I think we're doing the right thing in hiring other backgrounds, and we hope to continue to do that in the future.
Okay. Tracy, let me ask you the same question. Are there issues of racial inequality at the jail? Please explain why or why not. You're muted, sorry. There you go. All right, go ahead.
As of today, I couldn't tell you how many minorities are actually employed at the jail. I don't know the answer to that. I don't have those numbers. And do I feel like maybe we could do a little better? Maybe. I think we need to focus more on going out to these community-based organizations, and here in Franklin County, in Frankfort alone, we have a historically Black college that we need to be making sure they know when we have job openings. Your focus on race relations here in Frankfort, we need to make sure you guys know, and other community organizations. I feel like that's really important in fixing any issues that may be at the jail with race relations. I can't answer you. I can't answer that question if there is.
Okay, thank you so much. My last question today, guys. Describe, and this goes to Tracy, you'll start this one off. Describe current anti-racism and anti-bias training for employees, and do you think that it's adequate at this time?
I can't speak for any current training that they have at this time, what they're using as far as for race relations. I do know that again, while the door is open, we need to be working on hiring a more diverse and more cultural background. I think it's important for the population, the inmate population, to see, other than white correctional officers and leaders, that maybe that would help them to understand, that they feel like someone understands what they're going through. So I feel like it's important that we do that. As far as right now, if they're doing any type of training, to address these issues, I couldn't answer that question, but I do have a plan, to seek out these types of trainings and hiring. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Jake, same question. Describe current anti-racism, anti-bias training for employees. Do you think that it's adequate?
I can't answer that question. The deputies get 24 hours in service a year. They get 40 hours when they're hired. Those topics are taught. It needs to be expanded. And my plan in the future is to expand our 80 hours. I'm sorry, I said 40 hours. It's 80 hours, 2-week training to 120 hours as soon as the budget is allowed after COVID. Everything in training can be expanded. We want to expand everything. So yes, they do get some training with that topic. It can be expanded, and we'd like to. Go ahead. Speaking of the community college, we do a job fair at KSU. We've done one since I've been here. We've done job fairs in other areas too. We've been aggressive in hiring. All we can do is be aggressive with the internet and the paper and stuff of that nature, and hopefully, I can't control who comes in the door and puts an application in. So we hope to broaden that, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you so much. Now, I know I said 3 questions and that was 3. I want to follow up on my question number 2 because I just want to hone in a little bit. I think both of you spoke a lot about the racial inequalities as far as the employees. I want you to speak on whether or not you feel that there are issues of racial inequality at the jail with the inmates. And if you don't believe so, then it's okay to say, I don't believe so. If you do believe so, please explain that. Tracy, we'll start with you on that one.
I do not know the answer to that. I would hope that there is not. I know there are several complaints, and it's not just, one color, one culture that's making these complaints at the jail. And, the overall treatment at the jail, the culture of the jail itself has to change. And it doesn't, and we can look at all of the complaints that attorneys have made that have shared with me, and these are complaints to the Department of Corrections. I'm not so sure that we could, make a stack of complaints and say it was one more than the other. It's an overall complaint, concerns, issues at the jail that need to be corrected. And at any given time, we could find ourselves in a situation that we don't need to be in.
Thank you so much. Jake?
Well, thank you for your question. And earlier I did answer about the staff. The numbers at the jail are African American or Black are about 25% to other backgrounds. So do I believe there's racial issues with inmates? I hope not. I tell my people to treat people equally and fairly. And the glass is always half full. But in a jail, you're going to have complaints. It's not a nice place to be. But we try to treat people as people with respect and dignity as much as possible. So I hope that answers your question.
It does. Okay, thank you so much. Again, I want to thank you both for participating. I'd like to give you each 2 minutes in closing to just say whatever you'd like to say. You don't have to use the whole 2 minutes. Just anything that you'd like to say in closing. And as we started with Tracy, why don't we end with Jake? Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you again, Ms. Powell, for having this. Thank you, Franklin County, for watching. It's getting near and dear that time to go vote. I hope a lot of people have already voted, but if you haven't, you got till the 23rd. I ask you to go out and vote for me. I have 19 years of experience, training, and leadership training in this county. I've been attached to Franklin County government for 19 years, either with the jail or with the sheriff's department. I've worked for 4 jailers and 3 sheriffs. I know what to do and what's right and what's wrong. I ask you, the voters, to give me the opportunity to continue to lead Franklin County. Thank you, and be safe.
Thank you. Tracy?
Thank you again for hosting this forum. I am Tracy Hopper. I'm asking for your vote between now and June the 23rd. I have experience at the jail. I worked for only one jailer, and I worked in pretrial services. I worked for the administrative office of the courts. I have never been a law enforcement officer. I have respect for law enforcement officers, and I do believe that I am the most qualified candidate for this position. I have the relationships with the community. I have the relationships with the judicial system, with law enforcement, and with the attorneys. I think it's very important that we have those types of relationships in the community, and we continue to build on those. Those are the things that we need in order to have a successful jail. And with that being said, go out to my Facebook page, Tracy Hopper for Jailer 2020, and take a look at my platform. I'm all about transparency. I think it's very important that government have transparency. I think it's very important that our officers are trained, and the training that they're getting now is that's been the training that they've been getting for a long time, and all of my opponents agree that the training needs to be changed, and it hasn't been. For years, it's not been changed. Now we need a change. Now more than ever, it's time to get in there and change things. The treatment is another part of my training. I don't think that anybody ever woke up one morning and said that, you know, I want to become a drug addict or I'm going to become a criminal. And we have to treat what we have in there, and we have to do the best that we can while they're there, because one day they will be turned back out to the community, and we want to make sure that we have given them a fighting chance.
Thank you so much. Well, it takes courage to have these open and honest conversations. So we really, on behalf of FOR, we greatly appreciate the fact that you were willing to have this conversation with us today. And thank you so much, you guys. You have a good rest of your Sunday evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too.